Hi everybody, Dr. Suneel Dhand. Welcome to another video. I would dearly love to volunteer my services to speak in the future documentary which will undoubtedly be produced, whether that's in 3, 4, 5 years time, on Netflix or any other platform, on the scandal of the pandemic response over the last 2.5 years. I feel like I'm well positioned to do so. As a frontline physician, I've treated hundreds, if not thousands, of patients with the virus by now. I've worked in multiple different hospitals in different states, and I have seen firsthand what's been happening since the very beginning. The types of patients who have been coming in with the virus and how we have been treating them from the very beginning and how that has progressed over time. I also believe I have a good understanding, a good grasp of data, of science, of statistics. I can break down medical studies and I can correctly interpret news stories. Now, human beings are not known for logical and rational responses to situations, especially emergent situations. That's simply not who we are. All you have to do is pick up a history book. But what we've seen over the last 2.5 years has been off the charts insane. And I do believe that the aspect of social media, which is relatively new for us, has played a major role in the scandal of our pandemic response. And I have no doubt that with time, as the dust settles, as the fog lifts, we will slowly but surely start asking the right questions and raising the right concerns. We're already seeing that happen, actually. And even if you look at the last 20 years, you see this phenomenon all the time. Slowly but surely with time, the questions start getting asked and the people start getting held to account. We've seen this over the last 20 years with our response to 9/11, the subsequent wars that happened. Questions start getting asked that people wouldn't dream of asking at the time. And I think that this is what we're about to see unfold over the next couple of years. Hopefully it will be sooner than a 5-year Netflix documentary. Remember, the herd moves slowly, but boy, when it moves, does it move. So what would I talk about? What truths would I tell in this future pandemic scandal documentary? Well, first and foremost, obviously, I'll talk about my own experiences at the front lines, openly and honestly. I'll talk about exactly what types of patients we've been seeing, how we've been treating them, where I believe that we have been falling short in treating patients with the virus, and where I believe we've got things right. I've seen this whole thing unfold. It's been fascinating since the very beginning, but we've definitely made mistakes. I'd then like to talk about how I believe medical professionals all over the place have seen certain things, they've had concerns, they've wanted to raise questions, but unfortunately they haven't been able to because we've been in an atmosphere of silencing, censorship, and intimidation, where question asking is not encouraged by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, how anti-science is that? I believe that information has been withheld from the general public in many countries. I'm thinking the United States and United Kingdom. And I'm not blaming doctors or medical professionals. I'm also blaming the authorities because we've been in this environment where we've had a certain narrative. Let's think about the mainstream media, what role they have played in sensationalizing the situation, not giving the full context, of manipulating the situation and deliberately wanting to provoke an environment of fear. And that has happened all over the world. I'd like to talk about how governments everywhere have frequently used the pandemic to push agendas which have nothing to do whatsoever with the problem at hand. And finally, most importantly, the enormous financial conflicts of interest, the gigantic financial conflicts of interest, which have swept through pandemic responses all over the world. Many people, individuals, companies have got very rich indeed, and there have been conflicts of interests all over the place, often in places you would never even imagine. And ultimately, how can we forget how this whole thing was supposed to be about health, was it not? But has real health been first and foremost on the minds of many of the people leading the pandemic response, many of the authorities? That alone is a scandal that real health has taken a back seat. So why am I even talking about wanting to speak freely, openly, and honestly? It seems extraordinary that we are in this environment of censorship in countries like the United States and United Kingdom, countries that are supposed to be some of the freest countries in the world. Why on earth would I even need to talk about this? Well, there's many reasons, many different players here, but remember this, the censors are never on the right side of history. I repeat, the censors are never on the right side of history. We all know the famous phrase, you are free to speak, but will you be free after you speak? But again, I have no doubt that with time, we're already seeing this, the right questions are starting to be asked, and we are going to hold the right people to account. I would gladly even place my hand on the Holy Book and swear to tell the truth. I know that doesn't mean a lot to some people out there, but it means a lot to me, because I think not just me, but many other people out there cannot wait to tell the truth when the atmosphere is right, and it is coming sooner than we think. So again, I cannot wait for that time. We're going to be there soon, hopefully sooner than 5 years. What would that be? A Netflix documentary in 2027? Maybe it will be in 2024 or 2025, but come it will. I wonder what it will be called. The Scandal of whatever. Let's see. Thanks everybody for listening. Dr. Suneel Dhand. Do let me know your thoughts down below. Hit the subscribe button for more similar videos in the future. Do also hit the bell button so you get notified when I make future videos. Remember 3 things. Modern mainstream culture will make you very sick very fast. Sadly, a lot of healthcare and medicine has become very corrupted, and fewer things are to be more cherished than living in a free country. Do also check out my uncensored platform. That link is down below. Join my community where we have more open, honest discussions away from this environment of big tech censorship and silencing. We will talk again very soon.